Hey Bayek, it's me Ian, and in today's video I'm continuing my look at the third and fourth Doctors, classic Doctor Who, and this is Invasion of the Dinosaurs from 1974. It is in the 11th season, second story, which happens to be John Pertwee as the third Doctor's last season as the Doctor. Previously, we'd had the Time Warriors, and the next one will be Death to the Daleks. It was transmitted, the 6 episodes, between 12th of January to the 16th of February 1974. It's written by Malcolm Hulke, who is a well-known Doctor Who writer. He wrote The Faceless Ones, 1967, The War Games, 1969, brilliant story that. Doctor Who and the Solarians, 1970. And The Ambassadors of Death, he also co-wrote with David Whittaker, Terrance Dicks, and Trevor Ray. That is 1970. And then Colony in Space, 1971. The Sea Devils, oh yes, the much loved Sea Devils, 1972. And Frontier in Space, 1973. Now it's directed by Paddy Russell, and this was her first directing Doctor Who. Yes, she did direct Pyramids of the Mars of 1975. Pyramids of Mars is just an absolute classic story. Also, Horror of Fan Rock, 1977. Fourth Doctor stories, again, really highly considered, brilliant, absolutely brilliant stories. The script editor is Terrance Dicks and Robert Holmes, and it's produced by Barry Letts. Music is usual by Dudley Simpson. We've got some interesting locations here. We've got locations in Moorgate Underground Station. We've got Smithfield Market. We've got Westminster Bridge, Whitehall, Trafalgar Square, Haymarket, Covent Garden, Southall, and Wimbledon Common. I honestly think that all those locations make this such a visual treat to watch. Despite, I know what people are already saying, but we'll come to that controversy about this episode, but they add so much on this story. I think it's wonderful to see. It really is. So, we'll get into the cast. We've got John Pertwee playing the third Doctor. We've got Elizabeth Sladen playing Sarah Jane Smith. We've got Nicholas Courtney playing the Brigadier. We've got Richard Franklin as Captain Mike Yates, and John Levine as Sergeant Benton. So the unit family is there. Then we have got Noel Johnson, who plays Sir Charles Grover. He was in Frenzy, 1972. He was in Frightmare, 1974. He was in Royal Flash, 1975. He was in the first Great Train Robbery from 1978. For Your Eyes Only, 1981. And With Nail and I, which is a cult classic, 1987. They're just some of the films that he was involved in. Great actor. Then we've got Peter Miles, who plays Professor Whittaker. Now, he was in Doctor Who and the Solarians, 1970, and Genesis of the Daleks, 1975, which is a fourth Doctor story classic. You probably already know it. It is amazing. He's involved in that. Another actor, a lot of TV roles as well. Just a great actor. Then we've got Martin Jarvis, who plays Butler. He was in The Web Planet, going back to 1965, and Vengeance on Varos, 1985. Another actor who's got a rich CV of loads of TV series and TV films. Amazing, again. Then we've got John Bennett, who plays General Finch. He was in The House That Dripped Blood, 1971. He was in Henry VIII and His Six Wives, 1972. He was in Watership Down, 1978, as the voice of Captain Holly. Yeah, great film, that. Priest, 1994. The Pianist, 2002. And now here we are, Minority Report. He was in Minority Report, 2002. Great films, great career again. Then we've got Carmen Silvera, who plays Ruth. She was in The Celestial Toymaker, 1966. That's her only Doctor Who appearance up to this point. She is really well known, though, as, well, in Hello, Hello, which ran between 1982 to 1992. It was an extremely popular comedy series on BBC One. Yeah, she was in that. So, what's this story about? Well, this story is that the Doctor and Sarah Jane come back and they land in London. But London's quite deserted. And also, they encounter a dinosaur. And then they see some more prehistoric animals, creatures. What is going on? And eventually they get back in with the unit. And we find out that all of London basically is cleared away because everybody is getting out of the way of all these prehistoric creatures. But as we delve further into all this as the investigate, we realise that there's something seriously going on, and what they uncover is a plot and a conspiracy to roll back the Earth in time, what they believe to be a golden age, where you didn't have all these modern things going on and the planet was better and all this kind of thing. As you do get these sort of cult fanatic people. And the sad thing is, if you're a unit fan, is that, well, Captain Mike Yates has been seduced by all this and he's involved in them and is effectively sabotaging some of UNIT's activities in their investigations. Oh dear, we've got a traitor. And will he redeem himself eventually? Well, we'll see in a future story maybe. But yes, he's been seduced by this cult group that are going to bring back the golden age, as they believe, of this mythological golden age. And there we are. That is this sort of story. But let's have a look at it a bit more detail. I think the reason this has got a bit of a bad press in places, it comes down to the dinosaurs. Let's be honest about that. The dinosaurs have always been an issue, and that has overshadowed what is an excellent story underneath. But people say, "Oh, look at how bad the dinosaurs," and that's been always the problem. Everybody acknowledged this at the time. The producers, that there was a problem, but it's there. And as to be honest, I don't mind them. I know people go on about them. I don't mind them. I'm used to it in Doctor Who. People should be, I don't see it as an issue, but other people do. Another thing that maybe as well has affected some people's perspective of this is the fact that the first episode was white, the colour one. And all they have is a black and white one, which is the one that they show on here. But after various experimentations with colorization, it has been colorized. Now, when it's released on Blu-ray, finally, hopefully, we might have a good colorization because technology and everything has improved. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that will happen. But say the one I watched was on this DVD and it was in black and white. But I was fine with that. I'm not going to go mad about that at all. But I think that has added some people's perception of this story. All these little things sort of add up, and that's why people get a bad thing. But the story, I mean, it's got it all, really. What you can't help but love, underground base, nuclear base. You can't help but love these scientists, crazy scientists. And a fake spaceship story even in there. I mean, what is not to love in these stories? And as I mentioned earlier about the locations are fantastic. And the story's great. It's this conspiracy idea about these groups, as I say, wanting to take us back. And I say, Captain Yates, oh dear, betraying unit. Wow, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You can't help but love it. Really. I was actually watching this again. My memories of it weren't that great, but watching it now, I've really gone up a lot in my estimation. I appreciate it now a lot more, and I think, when you look at the extras as well, the documentary is very good as well on here. It is excellent. So this is fantastic. Great story. Highly recommended. The 6 parts, they just go by so quickly when you're watching it. You're so engrossed in the story. Absolutely love it. Now, it got a VHS release in 2003, and that actually was the final complete story that was released on VHS. Then in 2012, on DVD in the Unit Files box set, it got a release. But I'm looking forward to a Blu-ray version coming out sometime, as it will, and hopefully the colorization will be really good, and we'll see it will improve its standing, I think, even more when people see that. Yeah. So before I go, there it is. Brilliant. I still love my DVD collection. Say, this is a 2-disc set as well. See, 2 discs, and you've got the usual leaflet, which is always nice to have. I love these, as I mentioned before, and the documentary is really good, really highly recommended, fantastic. That's it. Yes. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and then have a look in the playlist, and you can see all the past reviews I've done of Doctor Who. But I do so much more. I do a lot of TV series reviews. I do film reviews and also a bit of music. Yes. Now, if you like this video, please give this a like. If you give this a like, it gets it out onto YouTube for hopefully other people might enjoy it, and algorithms and all that business. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments, and I'll always reply to them. And that's it. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.